Here we are, one last time with these guys. I don't know if you can hear that, but they make a little bit of noise. They're not the most sturdy option. Like I said, if you were going to stick with an OEM option, like if it weren't for these ones that I bought, I would probably just keep these because they're really nice. And they're definitely my favorite OEM shifters. Until you get to like the G series, I really like the G8X carbon shifters. I think those are super nice too. Nonetheless, we're gonna try these out and see how we like them. To get the steering wheel off, pretty easy. F-Series steering wheel, you guys know how this goes. At least we don't have to poke holes in these steering wheels. There's already a hole. So in order to get the airbag out, we'll use this guy. And you're basically going to be compressing a spring and pulling out. I like to press on the airbag at the same time, put that in, and then lift up, and typically that works. There we go. So that side's free. Same from this side. There we go. So once you pull out the airbag, behind here you're going to have some plugs. You don't need to unplug them from the actual airbag. You can just unplug it from the column itself. And then of course set this aside somewhere safe. Same deal on here. We've got one more plug right there, like that. So this is going to be a 16mm bolt right here. Make sure it's dead set in the center. Fantastic. So you're also going to see two little lines right here on the wheel itself, and then the stem. Those should always line up in case your wheel isn't perfectly straight. All right, so now let's pull this off and take it over to the workbench and then transfer over the paddles. All right, let's go ahead and start this off with the T20. I'm going to have one down here. That will loosen up the finishing trim on the bottom side. You could probably get away with doing this without removing the finishing trim, but the way that these wires are routed inside of here, I think we're gonna have to take off all this stuff just to make it easier to work and to show you guys, but you might be able to get away without having to do that. There's two more T20s in the side right here, and try and keep track of where each T20 goes because they're all a little bit different. After you release those two, this should all be able to come out. So here is where the paddles are. This is the plug for the paddle, and then this is the actual Torx bolt for the paddle. I think I'll be able to get this off without removing anything else. Let's try it out. That should be enough room for me to get this out. Oh yeah. Let's connect that guy. And then you should be able to snake out your paddle. So I guess we'll do that side first. Also remember that you get new hardware with the new paddles. If you tried to use the old one, you'll probably damage this because this is all metal now. I'm no longer using plastic parts, whereas OEM is all plastic. So you're also increasing the size a bit. I think it'll be nice. Snake the plug back through the way it was on the other one. I suppose we can go ahead and plug this back in. The new hardware is now an Allen head bolt, so keep that in mind. Go ahead and throw in the new paddle. Everything lines up. Wow, yeah, it fits really, really nice, which is always a good thing to see. Go ahead and throw the new bolt in here. Oh yeah, it feels good. It feels so much more sturdy. You guys will feel it immediately when you install this. That side is done. Big difference. Looks really nice too. Looks a lot more like race car. I dig it. Put that clip down. Let's hit up our other side right here. Take care of that T20. So I'm gonna try and run the wire just like OEM. All right, got it. All of these should line up. Pops right into place. It's really nice and snug too, which is awesome. So the one thing I will say is when you are doing this, what I've learned in the past, just from making mistakes and doing it the wrong way, and then I've seen other people do this too, always want to be careful when you are putting the wires back together. Remember that when you take off the steering wheel, that channel right here is where the airbag spring is. So you don't want any wires getting in the way of that channel. Same thing obviously with this side. Don't want any plugs or wires. So that's just one thing to pay attention to when you're putting everything back together. That way you don't end up putting the airbag on and the next time you have to take it off, if you do have to take it off, you're not stabbing wires and plugs and ruining the inside of your steering wheel. Just a helpful note for you guys. All right, this is good. These feel freaking sick, dude. I really like this. Like, the look is really cool. It looks OEM, but it's just added a little flavor of race car to it. They sound amazing. The biggest difference, dude, just from noticing these is how sturdy they are. I know that I've mentioned that before. These feel so flimsy compared to these. You have to feel them in person. This video or anything online is not going to do it justice. You have to feel how sturdy and just rigid these feel by design. There's literally no play in them. It's just solid. Very excited for this. All right, let's go ahead and throw it back in the car. Almost forgot, throw the finishing trim back on. Remember to line everything back up. In this car, we don't have to worry about this plug right here. We're just plugging the airbag back into this one right here. All right, so my GTS wheel has 30,000 original miles on it. It is in rough shape. Some of it is savable, some of it is not. I do have another steering wheel coming, so it's not that big of a deal, but let's try and clean it up a little bit just for the sake of today. Using a little bit of Sonax. Oh, soak it in. Ooh. Chill, bro, chill. Chill. This stuff really works. Should have probably done this when the wheel was off the car. It would have been a lot easier. It is what it is. This is the second time I've cleaned this wheel. And it's just seen better days. It's kind of past the point of saving, I think. Now we're gonna let that sit for a little bit and then come back and wipe it down with a rag. Dude, I don't care what nobody says. These are sick. They feel amazing. All right, let's go for a drive. Holy crap, dude. It's totally different. You do have to put like a little more effort into the shift, like into the actual paddle click. Haha, that shit is sick. I'm gonna give this thing about 2 days to warm up, you know, S55 life, and then we will resume. You guys, every time that I get to drive this car, I am reminded as to how incredible it is. And I'm just so grateful to be able to own this. Like, even if it's not forever, just to experience this car is so freaking cool. Like, it's just such it's a crazy car. It's so crazy. It sounds crazy, it looks crazy, it handles crazy. Everything about this car is just so extreme. I just love this car, dude. I haven't been driving it lately because I've been working on the 1 Series, but man, when I get back into this thing, I'm like, wow, it is just such a cool car. Yes, sir. It feels friggin' awesome. These are crazy, man. You just have to feel these in person, because I know that it's not going to translate through video well, but just like the quality and how rigid and like stiff they feel, dude, they just feel really good to the touch. I think that the audible click might not be for everyone. Like, some people are gonna hate that. They'll just say like, oh, I'm gonna get annoyed of it. I think it just comes down to like how much you're driving the car and what its purpose is. Obviously, this is not like my daily driver, so it's kind of fun to have all the crazy noises and clicks going on in this car as opposed to some of my other cars. This car feels so freaking good, man. It's really crazy. I've just been running this car on a stage 2 boot mode tune, OTS, for like the last few months. I haven't touched it. It's been great. It's perfect. It's like not too much, not too little. 10 out of 10, for me at least.